The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword is an amazing game with tons of details, references, and hidden Easter eggs throughout the entire adventure. With the release of Skyward Sword HD on the Nintendo Switch, I thought it would be fun to go through and pick out a few small details that I noticed during my playthrough. Some of these details may include some spoilers, so if that worries you, then please play through the game and come back later. For those of you who stayed, enjoy the video. Special thanks to RJ's Arcade for helping out with some of these details. If you want to check him out, which I highly recommend, a link to his channel will be down below. Number 1. The Clouds in Skyloft Silent Realm. This is honestly probably one of my favorite on the list just because of how minor this detail is. Late in the game, there's a Silent Realm trial that takes place up on Skyloft, and it's a really calm and beautiful setting, if you look past all the guardians, that is. But while I was taking my sweet time and just absorbing the atmosphere, I noticed that the clouds that lead down to the surface are still open, albeit missing the beacons of light, but you can still see the openings. The clouds are even circling around just like they would be in the overworld. This is definitely not something that the developers had to do, but it's still really nice to see, and again, it is really minute, but it's always the little things that add up in my opinion. Number 2. The Rupee UI. This one is definitely one of those more subtle changes, but still one that I thought was worth mentioning. There's this little rupee icon that shows how full or empty your wallet is stationed at the bottom left of the screen. Originally in the Wii, it was actually at the top left underneath the hearts and the shield meter. I think this change was actually really good because it feels a lot less cluttered and in a strange way, a lot more modern. A really small yet welcome change to the game. Number 3 is Gruse Reloading the Grusenator. During the second fight against the imprisoned, Gruse finally puts his self-built catapult to the test. You might notice that during the fight, there's a little bit of a wait time before Gruse can be called for help each time. The reason for that is because he actually needs to reload his Grusenator with massive bomb flowers. But if you happen to be at the very top of the sealed grounds while Gruse is in the middle of reloading, you can actually see him running to get another bomb flower. During the third fight against the imprisoned, if you're fast enough, you can actually see Gruse holding the bomb flower during a cutscene. The developers really didn't have to do this and very well could have had the bomb spawn in, but I really like that they just went out of their way to add this little detail in case the players did happen to be on the top during that time. This next one isn't as much of a new detail, but it's still one that I thought was very neat and didn't realize until the remake came out, so here's number 4. Near the end of the Song of the Hero, a little piece of Ocarina of Time's Hyrule Field theme plays. Because this is an audio thing, I'll compare the two pieces side by side just so you see what I mean. The musical references even extend to the end of Demise's theme, teasing with a light organ version of Ganondorf's theme from Ocarina of Time. Now that I know that's a thing, it's honestly really cool to see these references and callbacks outside of just the visual cues. Now number 5 is definitely one of the biggest changes to the game overall. When saving a game while in a file, you can actually save to any of the 3 given files in the game. In the original, the only way that you can save to different files would be saving the current game that you're playing, quitting out of your session, copying the current file, and then overwriting a separate save file or a new one. This is definitely a streamlined way of doing things, and it's so nice that it was added. And finally at number 6, we have the very beginning of the game. At the beginning of the original Skyward Sword on the Wii, when you start up the game in a new file, it would show a screen saying The Legend of Zelda 25th Anniversary to commemorate the 25th anniversary of the Zelda series. However, in the remake, this is absent, being replaced with a black screen showing Nintendo presents The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword just like they did in Breath of the Wild in 2017. Honestly, I think this is kind of a letdown and a missed opportunity, and it would have been really cool if they tweaked this by just giving a little 30th anniversary screen instead, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers. Well folks, that's all I was able to find for this list of details, and if there's anything that I missed or just didn't mention that you think deserved a spot, please comment it down below. Hope you all enjoyed the video, consider subscribing if you haven't, and I'll see you all in the next one.